Hi friends, welcome to my channel Renu's Chat and Talk. If you are new, please do subscribe to my channel, like, comment and share my video with your friends and family. We completed 7 tenses. Okay, is it? What are those? Simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous tense. And in past, simple past, past continuous, past perfect. And today I do past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect. So had, past means have form. What's the past form of have? Had. Been, because it's a perfect tense. Then continuous. So ing form, V1 plus ing form. So had been playing, had been watching, had been doing, had been studying. So this is the basic thing about past perfect continuous tense. Then when do we use? What is this tense? Action started in the past and continued until another time in the past. Started in the past, continued also in the past, okay, ended at some point in the past, all past events only. But whereas if you note, like previous video, I taught you present perfect continuous tense. It has connection. Action started in the past but it has connection with the present, isn't it? But this past perfect continuous, it doesn't have any connection with the present at all. Began in past, continued in the past, and ended also at a definite point in the past. So all past, it talks about all past only. But the action which continued, isn't it? Action which continued certain time until another time, but in the past only. Okay. Then what is the structure for this? Subject plus had plus been plus V1 plus inform or V4 or object, any other words. Okay. They had been watching TV. They had been watching TV for 2 hours. Had been watching. This is our today's one. Isn't it? Today's topic is this. Had been watching. Means past perfect continuous tense. They had been watching TV for 2 hours. Okay. Then when do we use? When do we use this past perfect continuous tense? Happening means some event was happening before another event. Something was going on before, some action was continuing for a certain period before another event. Okay, look at the examples. So happening before another event. He had been watching TV for 2 hours before he slept. Before he slept, what was he doing? He had been watching TV for 2 hours. What had been, what had he been doing before he slept? That is the question asked. Then what do we say? He had been watching TV for 2 hours before he slept. So before this action, one action had been continued. Okay, isn't it? Then we use past perfect continuous tense and we are mentioning even the time period also for 2 hours. Isn't it? He had been watching TV for 2 hours before he slept. Okay, had been watching. And this is so happening before another event. So this is another event. He slept is an event. Before that, this took place. He had been what he had been doing. He had been watching TV. The teacher had been showing the video when the bell rang. Okay, when the bell rang, what had been the teacher doing? The teacher had been showing video. The teacher had been showing the video. Had been showing the video, isn't it? So happening before another event. We do next. In this only we do next. So happening and means happening this event, and then duration. When you talk about duration, we use to like since and for. Just like in present perfect tense also we use since and for to talk about the time duration. Since always talks about point of time and for talks about period of time, length of period of time, isn't it? Then here in this case also we use those since and for. They had been working since morning. They had been working since morning. Okay, since we use. He had been doing his graduation. He had been doing his graduation. If you can give duration from and to also, you can give from 2011 to 2013. Okay, he had been doing his graduation since 2011 also. You can give a particular period, starting period and completed period from 2011 to 2014. He had been doing his graduation. Okay, when you talk about duration, we use since and for, and even from and to also. From that particular time to that particular year, or time to that particular time, he had been doing that work. Okay, then happening and cause. What's the reason? Okay, what is the reason for it? The ground was wet. Why was the ground wet? Because it had been raining. Oh, why was the ground wet? Because it had been raining. This is the happening. Okay, here had been working and had been doing, had been raining. Next one. She was tired. Why was she tired? She was tired because she had been working in the kitchen, one worker after one after the other. So many works she had been doing continuously. That's why she was tired. She was tired because she had been working in the kitchen, had been working in the kitchen. So this talks about happening and cause. What's the reason for that action? Okay, what's the reason for that continuous action? So we can say three, like first one happening before the event, and happening duration, since and for usage, happening and cause. Okay, in these situations we use past perfect continuous tense. Now let's see the negatives and questions in this. Let us see now negative sentences. How to frame negative sentences, just like present perfect continuous tense also. You do this past perfect continuous tense, like in between had and been, insert not. You just place not between had and been. Between these two, if you place not, it becomes a negative sentence. They had not been living there for a long time. They had not been living there for a long time. He had not been studying since morning. He had not been studying, doing something else. He has not been studying since morning. It had not been raining all week. Not been raining. It had not been raining. So just, but one more important thing is this had we use for all subjects, whether I, he, she, or it, they, even we and you also. For all subjects and all pronouns, we use all persons. We use the same had only one. No confusion in this. Unlike in present perfect tense, has or have. But here in past, there is no such confusion. Only one word had for all persons and all subjects also. Okay. It had not been raining all week. Okay. It had not been working, this uh, mobile phone or some computer. It had not been working for 2 weeks. Okay, it, in that cases you can use, for the things you can use it. It had not been working, or this phone. Okay, it had not been working for 2 weeks. Okay, you can write like that also to frame negative sentence. Then coming to questions. First, WH questions. WH question word plus auxiliary verb inversion. Always you take, whenever you frame WH questions, inversion of the places of subject and verb, they exchange their places, because in positive sentences or affirmative sentences, first subject then verb, isn't it? But when you frame a question, first verb then subject, first auxiliary verb, if it is there any auxiliary verb, then subject, then main verb. That is the thing. So inversion of the subject and verb you have to observe in every question. That is the rule you have to remember. How long had he been sleeping? Had he been sleeping? Okay, had he, subject in between, then been sleeping at the end. What had she been reading? What had she been reading? Where had he been working? Where had he been working? Okay, like that you have to frame the questions. And yes, no questions beginning itself, the auxiliary verb, isn't it? Here auxiliary verb only one, had, isn't it? Had you been sending any messages? Had you been sending any messages? Had the police been searching for the thief for the 2 weeks? Had the police, because it is the subject. Okay, had the police been searching for the thief for 2 weeks? Okay, here you see. This is the subject and this is the verb. Similarly, here also. First auxiliary verb, then subject, then been sending. Auxiliary verb, subject, and been searching. This you have to find. Observe in framing interrogative sentences or question forms. So past perfect tense, past perfect continuous tense. Today we discussed, isn't it? And in next video also we'll do tenses. We'll do mostly the future tense. 4 are there. We'll complete all one by one. Okay. Thank you for watching my video.